These next few moments to reflect on our own days, reflecting on what happened between when you woke up this morning and right now. Take a few moments to scan those thoughts, and then allow yourself to just go wherever with these thoughts. Just think about your day. Then we'll take a breath in together and a breath out like a sigh. Just sighing away the day. We'll take another breath in and out. Allow your exhale to bring you to your seat. Just feel this present moment of this seat on this floor. You can scan the rest of your body. How did your day move through your body? How did your body move through the day? We'll bring it all here together in this moment that we're sharing through a screen. We'll take a collective breath again, in and out. We'll just take a few moments to meditate and breathe here as I pull our tarot cards. Notice the next few breaths that you take. Bring yourself back into your body. Keep it still and seated as it is. You can open your eyes and bring your gaze to the screen. I have the cards that were drawn over here so you can see those images and the colors and anything that comes up to you here. We have the Ace of Wands and Two of Cups. We'll do a close-up on the Ace of Wands here. So you can see that fire wand energy for sure. And then that ace, that beginning, that new life. Here we have the Two of Cups. We have more of a watery vibe. Some sharing. And here's what they look together. Wonderful. Let's get back into our seats and take a few moments to sit with that, with those images. Good. With your inhale, allow the spine to lengthen and the crown of the head to reach up towards the sky. When you exhale, send the awareness down the spine like an anchor sinking to the bottom of the sea. Allow the breath to continue this awareness shift up and down. The inhales send you up and high. The exhales bring you down. See if you can find some rhythm with this floating and sinking, the breath, this rising and falling. You might choose to count if you like numbers and having something set for yourself to focus on. Or you might simply just be aware of the breath. Feeling a sense of like a buoy here. Weighted, but still some movement and freedom. Take another breath in and out. Bring the right palm to the belly, right below your rib cage, right at your diaphragm. And then bring your left palm underneath it on your lower abdomen. Take a few moments to notice the temperature of these spaces of your hands and your core and belly. And then with your inhale, bring the awareness to the shoulders and hips. Feel some expansion. And notice the exhale. And then come back to where the hands are with your awareness. Just notice these spaces. Continue to breathe nice and deeply. You might feel some shifts and movements of the belly as you do this. Good, and you might see colors and shades of orange and yellow. Entering the energy centers of the sacral and solar plexus chakras. Tuning into the elements of water and fire. Sacral, rolling over your creativity, your own sensual experience, your own expression and individuality, reflected in these watery spaces. It reflects and helps invoke a fire, of the solar plexus, of your self-worth and value. When these two are communicating with one another, you are proud of your creations. You understand the value of your own unique senses, what you experience, what you see, what you smell, what you taste. All of it translates. Take a few moments to really experience our senses. You can rub your tongue along your teeth and lips. Notice what you taste and what you feel. As you breathe in and out, you might notice any smells. You might bring the awareness back to the hands and really notice that temperature again. You might notice the texture of your clothing. Maybe you begin to move and rub your hands and fingers a little bit along these areas. Notice what the skin feels like. Feel free to intuitively touch your belly in a way that's comfortable for you. Could be in stillness, maybe a little bit of a self-massage. Maybe you make circles along your belly in one direction or the other. Like a warm embrace, like we're caressing ourselves. Whatever you're comfortable with. And then find stillness with the hands. Coming back to the belly, the solar plexus, and sink. And we'll take another breath. Feeling the remnants of the energy here. Good, and we'll bring our hands to the ground in front of us. And then just slowly walk our hands forward. And you can transition to a child's pose. Good. As you come to your child's pose, you might shake your hips a little bit. You might widen the knees. Maybe even rock the head from side to side, feeling the weight of the forehead shift. Let's give ourselves about 10 or so breaths in child's pose. Good. Keeping the lower body as it is, extend those arms a little further, lift the forehead off the floor, and bring the fingertips down to raise the elbows and palms and wrists. You might rotate the head a little bit, or maybe shake it yes and no. Good. And then bend the right elbow, hand by the knee, and then reach the left hand up and over towards the right side. Take a few moments to breathe into the space created by the left rib cage and shoulder. You might move a little bit here by inhaling the rib cage up and over, maybe exhaling the heart forward. Feel free to kind of explore this, maybe little gentle rotations, noticing the neck and the spine. Good, another breath in and out. And shift the spine back to center and the arms here. And we'll do like a thread the needle by bringing this left arm down, and this right hand can stay up, or maybe you bend the elbow a bit. I'm feeling a twist in the upper body. Feel free to make any modifications. If you need to lift the hips up, you can do so. Then we'll feel this threading of the needle and shoulders for the next 5 or 6 breaths. Good, notice the next breath. Great, come back to center. Take a couple breaths in a child's pose to notice any changes from side to side. And then when you're ready, we'll lift it up again and expand and explore and go the other way. So left elbow is bent, right goes up and over. We explore this side. Good, big breath. Beautiful, release it through center to thread the needle the other way. Again, option to lift the hips if you want to. Great, one more breath. Unwind. And then as you're ready, hands and knees, we'll press ourselves up. We can make circles with the ankles, and then we'll curl our toes under. And spread our fingers nice and wide. Okay. And then straighten one leg. Let's start with the right leg. We'll straighten the knee, lifting it up, and just shift with toes curled under, forwards and back on that ankle, stretching out in the bottom of the foot. Maybe even making some circles, dragging the toes against the floor. Great, and then tune back in. Let's find some stability here. Both hands on the floor. We'll walk that right foot over towards the left. So allowing the shoulders to face forward. And then notice what happens on that outer right hip. Good. Feel that for another breath. Great. Straighten the right leg behind you again. We'll bring the arch of the foot down, then come to a side plank. So you can lift the right arm up. We feel the support with that left knee on the floor. And we can experiment with where we have our gaze. It might look up to the hand. Maybe it looks to the wall ahead of you. Maybe you drop the right arm up and over. Maybe you experiment with balancing and lifting that back leg. Good. Feel your rib cage again. And a big breath. Great. Come back to center and take a few cat-cows to kind of neutralize some movements before we do the other side. And then with your exhale, bring that awareness back to the hands and knees and a straight spine. We'll bring that left leg behind us and shift forwards and back to kind of get like a self-massage with that foot and ankle here, exploring the toes. Good, and then we'll steady the shoulders over the wrists and get that IT band stretch. Bring that left foot to the outside of the right. Good, notice the hips. And another breath. Great, transition to your side plank. Good, a few more breaths. Great, and release. Let's come to downward facing dog. Let's just do one today, just one down dog. You can really explore it and be in it. Protect your wrists by spreading those fingers wide and pressing more into the fingers than the wrists themselves. Maybe you lift and lower the heels, bend the knees, widen your stance, make it like a frog dog. Good, 3 more breaths. Good, we'll transition to a low lunge with the right foot forward. You might come through down dog or come to your hands and knees first and then bring the foot forward. Come into it your own way here. Then you have the power between how far apart this knee and this foot are. So maybe you widen it, maybe you keep it short and stacked. Your hands might stay on the floor, or you might lift them to your hips. It's your own lunge, it's your own power, it's your own unique expression of this. Let's take about 8 or so breaths in our lunges, in our position of power. Good. We'll be in our lunges for one more breath together, in and out. We'll bring the left hand on the floor. With an inhale, straighten that back knee. Lift the right arm up, twist. Good. Deep breath in and out. Take one more. And we'll release. Good. We'll come to either tabletop or maybe one more down dog. Just transition to go to the other side. Come to the left whenever you're ready. Take your time to get in there. Maybe it looks different than the other side. Maybe it feels different than the other side. Good, another breath. Good. We'll come into our twist again. So right hand down, lift the back knee, lift the left arm. Good. 3 deep breaths. Good. Both hands down to frame the front foot. Let's step it forward for Uttanasana, forward fold. Maybe it's ragdoll. You can grab your elbows. Shake your head yes and no. Lengthen through the spine. Good. And then heel toe your feet a little wider. And then drop into a goddess squat, going to the distance that feels right for you. The hands might brace the floor. They might come together. You might even bring your seat on a cushion, perhaps. Come into your own squat. Maybe it moves a little, maybe not. And one more breath. Great. Carefully in your own way, we'll come to our backs. For me, I like to straighten my knees before I get out of goddess squat, but it can be up to you. Come on to your back whenever you're ready. Let's bend our knees and hug them into our chests. You might rock from side to side a bit. Feel the back of your sacrum, back of the sacral. Ground it down into the earth. Good, and then we'll bring the soles of the feet onto the floor, allow the knees to bend and drop in towards one another in the center. And then send the awareness to the entire length of the spine. Allowing the tailbone to extend. Noticing the back of the neck. Bring the right hand to your lower abdomen. And your left hand to your diaphragm. Breathe into these spaces. We'll break these cards down a little more. Both of them being of the minor arcana and of younger numbers, so to speak, Ace and 2. If we think of these cards in a cyclical manner, these would be towards the beginning of the cycle. Newness, new life, conception, creativity, sacral birth for Ace. And then for 2, duplication, reflection, reciprocity, growth, development, incubation. With Ace of Wands, we're at the birth of fiery passion, creativity, ideas, actions. Since it's wands, not swords, air, it's more action-oriented than thought-oriented. Perhaps it began as a thought, or maybe this action will lead to new thought. But right now we're in the doing, we're in the being, we're in the bursting out. And then with the 2 of Cups, we have this sense of sharing, of giving and receiving in the watery realms of emotions. So having your emotions be reflected back to you. whether it be through someone you know and love, or perhaps it's not even another human, but something that just brings you love. Maybe it's someone else's words in a book, an author you may not have met, but someone that resonates, that might be able to bring words to feelings you have. Since it's cups and watery and feelings, there's this sense of connection, of merging or uniting, bringing together parts of yourself, like a partnership. Maybe it is a partnership with sides of your own self, not necessarily has to be an outward connection, it could be an inward connection with yourself. But when I see these two cards together, I think of this creative action, and the creator has this vulnerability and strength to confide and share with another. And it's supported and it's understood. And it only becomes more powerful because of that. So maybe you have ideas. Maybe you have new actions that you can bring forth, bring to reality when you feel that it can be received. I don't know about you though, but sometimes I feel like, how could I even do this thing? Or how do I even have an idea or a thought or action? Like, where does it come from? Where does it go? And if you feel also that sense of feeling a little lost with this, maybe not having a direction, maybe you allow yourself to be open to all of it, any direction. So let's slowly open up our bodies to a starfish shape, straightening the arms and legs up and overhead. Really expanding outwards to your own capabilities. There can be different angles between your shoulders and hips. You can choose how far apart you go. Do you feel the memory of the hands on your belly? We'll take belly breaths here, really centering the focus to our middle section of our body. Focusing the energy and awareness here in our centers. When you inhale next, you can feel the growth of the spine from tailbone to back of the head. When you exhale, notice a release. When you inhale next, you can notice the hips and shoulders, these four corners of your torso. Notice the exhale. When you inhale again, expand it out through the knees and elbows, the midsection of your limbs. Notice the exhale. When you inhale next, wrists and ankles. Exhale. Inhale to the hands, palms, and feet. Exhale. Inhale to the fingertips and the toe tips. Exhale. Stay for a moment here in this openness, in this expanse. day and let whatever comes be. Notice the next few breaths that you take. You can begin to wiggle those fingers and toes like little antennas, searching for reception. As you inhale, expand through the shoulders, hips, elbows, knees, wrists, ankles. Draw the arms up towards one another overhead. Draw the feet towards one another in the opposite direction. You might point and flex the ankles and wrists. You might interlace the fingers, bring the palms away. Good, breathe in, nice long straight line, shooting out. And exhale, hug the knees into your chest again. Good. Come to a spinal twist. the knees towards the right. Moving into your twist in your own way, making sure it's safe in your hips and spine. Take 10 or so deep breaths in the twist. Another breath in the twist. Release as you're ready. Come back to center. You might, happy baby, perhaps. Whenever you're ready, twist the other way. One more breath in your twist. Release as you're ready. Any other intuitive movements that feel right, leading you into your final resting position. Be a traditional Shavasana on your back. You're welcome to end in whatever position you want to be in. Let's allow these next 7 minutes to simply just be in our being. Right now, it's not about doing. Right now, it's not about thinking. It's not even about feeling, it's about being. If you're not sure how to be, then notice how you breathe. That can be a place to start. Just breathe. Kind of deepen your breath. Noticing your inhales and exhales. Begin to invite movements into your body. It can begin wherever, fingers and toes, perhaps, maybe the mouth or neck. You might contract, hug yourself in, you might stretch yourself out, you might do both. You might roll onto your side. Make your way to a seat whenever you're ready. We'll face one another, but be in our own homes, be in our own seats and bodies. Return the hands to these spots we've been working with when you're ready. Notice the breath. Let's end practice with an Om. You can join me in your own home with this Om, or you can receive it by listening. You can inhale. Om. Namaste.